Hi, I'm Ellis George, play Courtney Woods, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.
The tangents as we continue all the way to episode number 81 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. But we must ask ourselves, are they really a hoax? Are we truly alone? Or are we being lied to? Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going on the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello.
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 We're here just barely.
Yeah. We had some conspiracy theories going on in our pre-show meeting.
I'm gonna have to get the smoking gunman on the line or something.
Yeah.
Get our help. Technical issues abound, which is why Brittany is not here. Chrissy is on her honeymoon, and if Brittany was here, she would have been able to tell us about her adventures at Chrissy's wedding because she got to go. But since Brittany's not here, we're just gonna have to wait. So.
Yeah.
But from what we saw, everything went smoothly, and
Yes,
it was fun.
I like
and
the cake.
yeah, we all wanted.
that cake was
I think we
gorgeous.
would have fought over Chrissy's cake topper.
Yeah, we would have.
I was like, is it edible? Or is it just like plastic? I think it was edible.
I think it was.
It was a TARDIS. Like, I kind of want that. We'll have to find out from Chrissy when she gets back. What's the TARDIS edible?
Yes.
I don't care about the rest of the cake, just the top. So, it looked like yesterday was a lovely time for everyone, and now she and her husband are at Disneyland on their honeymoon.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And she texted me earlier and asked, hey, where's a good place to eat dinner? Which is always a good text to get from someone. Hey, what's your recommendation for a place to eat in a Disney park? I'm like, wow. Where do you want me to start? Yeah. So she will fill us in on her adventures when she returns. I guess she and Brittany can talk about their finally meeting.
Yes.
So, slowly but surely, we're all meeting each other.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're all going to be in the same room at the same time. We'll work on that.
But
In the meantime, we'll just cross paths. But anyway, with that, we shall soldier on with technology and all that and get into what little news we have. And most of our news is it's news, but like most of the time we have news and then like stuff from articles to read to go with it. We have no real articles to go with any of this. It's all just
we have headlines.
We have headlines. So, first being some convention announcements, and if Chrissy was here, I'm sure she would be going, yay! But they have announced Matt Smith for Fan X at Salt Lake City. So, the 11th Doctor and River Song shall be reunited in Salt Lake City. That should be fun. I'm sure, I guess Chrissy said that they're planning on doing like a separate, oh, goodness gracious. I don't know. We're having technical issues. So, someone call the FBI. We need Mulder and Scully. Oh, goodness. What's going on here? This is the way it works, folks, when you do things with Skype. This is the way we roll. If you could see what I'm seeing right now, it would say, calling, with the little lines, the wavy lines, the dots of death. Like the blue screen of death, or the swirly ball for us Mac people. Okay, what's going on here? I don't know. Okay, apparently Holly got dropped. And I think... Oh, and we lost everyone. Okay. Well, let's see here. I'm just going to keep recording. I don't care. This may get edited, this may not. Keeping it real, folks. Keeping it real. And Holly's back, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Finally.
I kept recording. We're still going.
Yeah. Hi, babe.
I think it dropped everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing running commentary for our listeners. Like, if you can see what I'm seeing right now,
Yeah.
you would see that
Frustration
Skype,
with us.
Skype says it's calling. I'm like, what do you mean it's calling? You're already on the call.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And Mitch is having internet issues. Alrighty then. Well,
Boy. Thanks.
I guess we'll just soldier on and see what happens. I hope, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just gonna be you and me until Mitch comes back, I guess.
Okay.
Anyways,
Where
I
are
was
we at?
saying, as Chrissy said, I'm gonna leave this all in. I'm not gonna edit any of this out.
No.
Chrissy was saying that they're gonna do a separate ticketed special event with the Doctor Who people because they've got Matt and Alex and was there a third person? I don't remember now.
Was it?
I thought she said there was a companion as well.
We thought it was Arthur Dowell, but she wasn't 100% sure.
Oh yeah, Arthur has not been confirmed, but that's a rumor she was hearing. So,
Right.
But you've got a Doctor and you've got River.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, River was a companion, but she's more than a companion. I think it's safe to say. If there's a step in between Doctor and companion, that's where River is. I guess being the Doctor's wife, that kind of is it.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, because it's a separate event, Chrissy may or may not be able to attend. But if she does, she'll tell us all about it. And if not, I'm sure she'll have stories to tell anyway. So, and the other convention announcement is Planet Comic-Con for guys at Traveling the Vortex and anyone in that area. Apparently Alan Tudyk is making the rounds, as
Yay.
he does, I think, every year, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be at Planet Comic-Con. So, yay for that.
Hey.
And then next, our other piece of news, I guess, it's not housekeeping, is out of the... This kind of came left field.
Yeah.
But it's caught a lot of people by surprise, but I actually like it. Mm-hmm. But the Power Rangers reboot that we're waiting on, which I don't even think they started filming yet, but soon, I hope, because it's due out like next year, next spring, is up to this point, we've got our Power Rangers, and that's about it as far as casting. But we now have our Rita Repulsa, and it's actually a recognizable name. Elizabeth Banks is going to play Rita Repulsa, which I think is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Effie Trinket.
Yep.
It's not that big a stretch for her.
It's not.
Especially considering Rita, even though she's like the villain for the classic Power Rangers up to a certain point. I don't know who the villains are these days with all the whatever geospace, Dino, Falcon, Flash, whatever the Power Rangers are these days. But back in my day, Rita Repulsa was the villain. But she has been a comedic villain. She's never been scary by any means. So I think that Elizabeth is going to kill this role, and I love it. And I think Andre from Black Nerd Comedy, he did a video about it after the announcement came out, and he understands that people are like, it could have got someone else, but he brought up a good point that having a recognizable name brings some more credibility to the film as well. Especially for those of us that were kids when the Power Rangers were new. And this is one of the shows that we grew up on. For them to be doing this, essentially a reboot. I mean, it is a reboot because, you know, they've, when they announced the Power Rangers, all of the Rangers have the same names as the Rangers in the original series. So it's a reboot. So to have, and they're all they're not well-known actors. So to have someone like Elizabeth Banks, who is very talented in her own right, helps bring some credence and some chutzpah, I guess, to it. Mm-hmm. So it definitely makes me more excited for it, because up to this point I'm like, I don't know, but now I'm all like, yes, I will go see it just to see how she plays Rita Repulsa, because I love it. Love it. So, and Mitch is back. Yay!
Yay! Yeah, I had some internet issues, but
it's ghosts and goblins.
It's something.
It's something, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's it for news.
Yep.
Or headlines.
Little thing is a bit of housekeeping. February's book for the Doctor Who Traveling the Vortex book club is The Drostan's Curse, which is a Fourth Doctor book.
Which I still haven't found. Oops.
Uh-oh.
I've been trying to clean my room a bit today, so hopefully it will turn up soon. I mean, I have all month.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You do.
This February is slightly longer than normal.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, leap year.
Hopefully I'll find it and be able to get it read before the month is out.
You got that pretty green cover.
Yeah.
Or bluish cover.
Yeah, it's more bluish, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't know where it is.
Well,
I'll find it.
You know what color to look for, so.
I know what it looks like. I just don't see it anywhere.
Yeah. It'll turn up.
It'll turn up.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Hopefully. But I've been doing some tidying. We'll see.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Shall we get on with it?
Yeah, we will shall move on. The short news segment. Slightly lengthened because of the technical issues, but still a short news segment. So, moving on to the topic this week.
Yes.
in our conspiracy theories of why we were having the issues we were having.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I equate it to there's a particular episode of Quantum Leap that it's kind of like well, if you're a theater buff, kind of like Macbeth, you don't say the name of it in the theater.
Yep.
Because it's cursed.
Yep.
So this particular episode of Quantum Leap, supposedly when it aired, and anytime anyone tries to tape it when it's on TV, back when people did tape things off of TV before DVRs, that they, like, their recording would be wrong or have weird, like, video images. Maybe this particular topic has a curse attached to it, kind of like that particular episode of Quantum Leap and Macbeth. That's why we're having these issues. So, if you haven't figured out by now what we're referring to,
from the title and the quote and the conspiracy theories.
And the names we were dropping earlier, the Smoking Gun and then Skinner and all that. Yeah, the X-Files.
Yes.
If you weren't playing along at home, there's this little show. It's back on TV right now. That I finally had the chance to get caught up on. Get caught up on watching. So I watched the first 2 episodes back to back a couple days ago, earlier this week, and then I watched the 3rd episode last night, and I'm enjoying it. I will say right off the bat that I am really enjoying it. When the X-Files was originally on, which this, unlike like Heroes and Heroes Reborn, this is actually considered like the 10th season of the X-Files. It's not like X-Files something else. It is X-Files season number 10. It just happens to be a short season. But when the X-Files was the other seasons, when it was on the first time, I wasn't a diehard watcher. If it happened to be on and I wasn't didn't want to watch anything else, I would watch it. So I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen enough of it that I understand who the key players are. I know Mulder and Scully, and Skinner, and the cigarette smoking man, and the gunman, and the Men in Black, and the history behind Fox's sister's disappearance, and the main mythology. There's a lot of the monster of the week that if you told me the name or of that particular episode for one of the monsters of the week, I'd be like, But the mythology is really what you need to know to be able to follow it. And I think I get enough of that, know enough of it, that so far with the first 3 episodes, I've been able to follow no problem whatsoever. So, and Holly, you said you had a funny story. I don't even know how I got into watching the X-Files, to be honest with you. I think maybe it was on and it caught my attention. I'm like, ooh, what's this? And next thing I know, I'm scarred for life.
How I got into the X-Files was Star Wars author and now Dune author Kevin J. Anderson was doing a book signing in a city real close to me, and he had a new Star Wars book coming out, and he and his wife said, well, we're also going to be doing an X-Files book. And I liked his writing style. And he's just like, and he said it's going to deal with what was going on with, I think it might have been tail end of season 3 at the time. He's just like, don't tell us what happened, because somebody had teased and like, well, I kind of know what happened. He's like, don't tell me. And I'm just like, okay, if he's writing for the X-Files and I might want to pick up this book, might be a good time to get into the series. And this was before DVR and just VHS tapes, and then no on demand. So trying to get caught up and finding somebody who had some of the episodes was few and far between. But around that time they had started releasing like the best of box sets where they pick certain episodes, so I was able to kind of get caught up. And then later on, I started watching it and fell in love with it. So that's kind of my funny story into how I got into the X-Files. One of my favorite authors wrote a book. Wrote a couple of them, actually, for the X-Files, and are really good.
Have you read Kevin J. Anderson's Saga of Seven Sons?
That's on my to-be-read list. I've heard it's fantastic.
It's really good. The world building is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It is on my to-be-read list.
Yeah.
It is quite long.
That's what I've heard.
And when I started reading Saga of Seven Sons, I kind of read them in the wrong order. Like I was getting them from the library, so I think it was like 1, 3, 2, 4.
No.
Ooh.
5, 6, 7.
Machete order by mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mitch, you're new to the X-Files, aren't you? Because you'd never watched it before.
Yeah, it's something I've been meaning to watch for a while, and then I heard that there was going to be a new X-Files, so I'm like, I gotta get caught up quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I that link that Holly provided of how to get caught up in 4 days, I followed that. I did skip home because I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like, if it's like that disturbing, I'm not sure I'm ready to deal with that. So maybe I'll just skip it for now and reevaluate it when I go through and watch the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Very good call.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Because if memory serves, that one they only showed like once on Fox, and they never re-aired it on repeats from Fox.
Yeah.
Although, when I watched, I saw Gillian Anderson at Fan Expo Canada, and she said she showed her kids Bad Blood. And when I watched Bad Blood, I'm like, I can see why she thought this one might have been okay, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. But even
Bad Blood was enough to scare them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the nice thing is I think, well, I'll say you do need some background because I mean it really did pick up.
Yeah, especially like Mulder and Scully's relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
You probably know about William.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you kind of need to know where the last season ended, just because. Well, I'll say if you know how the last season ended. Then where this season picks up, takes everything that you knew and turns it on its head. Mm-hmm. Because the way that it left it was, the cigarette smoking man essentially told Mulder that the alien invasion was going to happen and there's nothing he can do about it. Mm-hmm. And here it is with this new season, and they've taken the idea that aliens are real and eventually they're going to invade and I guess take over the earth, and now they've taken it that no, it's not aliens that are going to invade, it's men using alien technology are going to invade and take over the world. Which I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I think that almost makes it worse. Because that means that, human,
Wasn't the invasion supposed to happen in 2012?
Yes, it was.
And it's now 2016?
Yeah.
Nothing seems to have happened?
No.
I'm hoping they explain that.
Yeah, I hope so too, because that was kind of, because they were very specific in the finale. That it was like
December 22nd, 2012.
Yeah.
That's when the invasion's going to happen.
Yeah. And
we're like 3 years past that, and
more than that.
The new episodes have made zero reference so far.
Right. Well.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've gotten into, I mean, they jumped right back in with the whole art, mythology and the alien invasion and all that. I think points toward that they're probably going to maybe have some sort of, I don't know, something or other.
I heard the first episode and the last episode are mythology, and the rest is filler.
Yeah.
Like Monster of the Week type thing.
Yeah. And the thing is, even though I would think that almost the second episode.
The second episode was
somewhat mythology,
especially the stuff about William.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that we have,
I want more about William.
and I think they're going to, because that's one of those things that's always I've thought about since, with William after all this time. I was even as it was getting ready to come back, that I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh, I wonder where William is. Are they ever going to see him again? And it's like, boom, there they are. They're talking about him. So
he'd be 15 by now.
Yeah. So I think that maybe William will return at some point in this season. Because the fact that he's come up more than once, I don't think is coincidence. Not with the way that they do things in the X-Files. So he's got. I think he's going to play a part. Not just in
imagining what it would be like if they had raised William.
Yeah. And both of their like daydreams about it all end horribly.
No.
It's like, oh, nice daydream of what it would been like if they'd been able to raise their son together. And
well, I mean,
both of them ended alien.
Just ended badly.
Yeah. Well, in
separate ways.
Yeah. Well, and that's they're like in some of their. I'll play psychologist here for a little bit for Dana and Fox. That it's probably a combination of them and their line of work and the things that you've seen and know what is out there, to use a catchphrase. But then also their concerns over, because William's conception is a bit of a gray area in how exactly Scully ended up pregnant with him in the first place. And now that we know that Scully has alien DNA, that also I can see cause some concern for them and his potential well-being. If he's still alive and he's 15, is he growing up as a normal teenage boy, or is he has weird things about him because of that? So we'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
But it's not, I don't think it's coincidence that he's been brought up. I think he's going to come back. Whether he gets to see his parents and they get to see him, or if we just get a glimpse of his life with his adopted family, I don't know. But I think we will see William, though, if we haven't already. So you never know. He could be in the background somewhere and we'd have no idea. That's the way they roll sometimes. So you just never know. Because people are popping up in the show. I mean, Skinner is back. The cigarette smoking man. We got a glimpse of him. The gunmen are supposed to come back at some point. I'm waiting for them to pop up. I don't know what episode they're going to pop up in, and how, considering they're supposed to be dead. Mm-hmm. But cigarette smoking man was supposed to be dead as well. So
yeah,
death doesn't really stick with the X-Files.
I don't know how he survived. How he was supposed to have died.
Yeah. Man's got 9 lives or something. He's like a cat. You would think the cigarettes would have killed him years ago. Or blown himself up, considering.
Yeah. Maybe they need to run a tox screen on what's in those Morleys he's been smoking.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll never know. But he's back to his old tricks as well. the X-Files have been reopened. We have a small problem. Like, yeah, it's not. You say it's a small problem. It's going to be a big problem. You and your men in black in the program. Which I tell you what, I'm glad, we had the first episode and we jump right back into the mythology, and then we get Founder's Curse or Founder's Mutation, and that was disgusting. that was a little hard to watch. So I'm glad that the third episode was the campy monster of the week, because we needed something after the heaviness of the first two episodes. I loved the were monster. So far of the three, that's been my favorite.
Kudos to Darren Morgan on that one.
So funny.
Mm-hmm.
I was laughing, cracking up at so many things. Oh, and I said this before we started recording. I love that they took the whole, not necessarily a werewolf, but the same idea that the transformation from human to beast, and flipped it over because it was a creature who got bit and turned into a human.
And turned human.
And apparently inherited all the human instincts. I don't even call them instincts, but things you consider human characteristics. Like, he suddenly becomes, he turns human the first time and realizes he's naked, and he feels compelled to put on clothing. And then he feels compelled to get a job. And then he becomes concerned. Is he saving enough for retirement? He needs to get a mortgage. So, that's pretty much human existence. I'm sorry. I can see why you'd want to go back to being a lizard thing living in the woods. Who wants to go to work every day? Oh. And he had a British accent. Why did he have a British accent?
Exactly. Well, maybe he's related to a Siberian.
I don't know. It could be.
Didn't he hibernate underground before he came back?
Well, yeah, that's what he said he had to. That's where he said he was going to go. It was time for him to go hibernate for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Oh. He was just so matter of fact about it. That's the thing. Like, it was like,
no big deal. Everyday life.
Yeah. No, this is the way I roll. I because they made it seem like he was this creature that was like killing people, and it turns out it was the animal control guy.
Yeah. And he has 3 eyes.
Yeah. 2. Yeah. And then they didn't really explain the animal control guy. Like, he tried to explain himself, and he just rattled off like this psychobabble that you would read in like any psychologist textbook. Like, it all started when I was a child. I felt compelled to injure small creatures. And I grew out the compulsion. Like they didn't even. But I don't think they needed to. I think that was the whole funny thing about it is, it turned out that it was this guy who was doing the murdering. But why? It didn't matter. He's just crazy. I think everyone in that town is crazy, though. That town that they were in. Between the animal control guy and the lizard man and the hooker.
Yeah.
He thought I was on crack. Well, are you? Well, yeah. And the lizard guy's therapist. Who I would never hire. Worst therapist ever. So, and the motel owner.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would be more concerned about being in town with all the actual humans than being out in the wilderness with the lizard guy.
Well, I'd feel safer with the lizard guy. To tell you the
Him and
truth.
his dog.
Yep.
I guess it's probably a good thing that his dog ran off, because what would the dog do while he was hibernating for 10,000 years?
Yeah. I kind of wish it would have ended up with Scully.
Yeah.
Just bringing back memories. It's like, well, it reminded me of Queequeg.
Well, she did take him with her, so
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, totally my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Totally my favorite. So Holly, since you're like I guess of the three of us, you would be the X-Files expert. The person with the most knowledge.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I know enough to be able to follow along. So, and off the top of my head, I can't really compare this season to previous episodes just because they're not fresh in my mind. So
Yeah, I mean, I tried to get through quite a bit of a rewatch, but quite didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But I mean, I've been really pleased so far with the 3 episodes we've had, and first 2 classic mythology, real no hints, but I mean, this 3rd one that we saw with the Monster of the Week, I mean, it brought back hints of War of the Courtages, Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, even a little bit of Bad Blood with the telling of the tale from 2 different sides a little bit, Scully's version and then Mulder's version a little bit. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how this pans out, and even this whole thing with the online guy for the news, trying to report and him disappearing, and just seeing how this all plays out with Cigarette Smoking Man and all this. If we're going to wind up coming up with an answer, or kind of, we're going to answer a few questions here, but we're going to open a few more.
Yeah. I guess it depends on...
Get fed down the line.
Yeah.
With another miniseries or a book.
Yeah. I guess it depends on whether they think this is going to be the end of it, or if they think they can continue it again, either in books or maybe online stuff or something. I would think even if they thought that it was going to end for real after this, that they would maybe still leave things open. Because, I mean, that's what they did with the finale the first time, is they left it with, Mulder being told the alien invasion was going to happen in 2012. That's it. The end. So, I guess it is what it is. So, I could see them leaving things open. Yeah, it'll be, where some of these new players that they brought in, like Tad O'Malley, which I didn't realize that they brought in Joe McHale to play a part in all of this. And like, wait, is that the guy from The Soup?
Yep.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, I couldn't see anybody else part.
Yeah. Well, it's like they took, like Colbert and Bill O'Reilly and Larry King, and took like the worst of that, like the worst personality traits of all of them, and put them into this guy. Like, he's like the king of the conspiracy theorists, which, when they really in that first episode and they were getting into it and they were talking, once Mulder had talked to the doctor that we saw in the flashbacks, and they get together with Scully and O'Malley and Sveta, and they start talking about what the reality is, and it's not aliens, it's the government has alien technology and they're going to use it, and they have been using it, and they're going to use it on a larger scale. And I don't want to sound like I'm bad-mouthing anyone, but me, as an educated, reasonable person, I understand it's television, it's fiction, but I could see people that maybe like the idea of like conspiracy theories, watching them rattle off these things and be like paranoid. It could easily make someone really paranoid.
Oh, yeah.
With some of the things that they were talking about. I'm like, I know it's fiction.
I'm not standing out in the street. There's boxes.
Yeah.
Enough conversations.
But, I could see someone that maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. It's like, if I didn't know any better, this could make me really paranoid. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But I'm not. So, but yeah, just he'll if and when he comes back, I guess will be interesting to see, because he had influence. That was the thing, and he was able to use that influence and do things, and allow Mulder to be able to see them, so that there's another witness, especially to the technology that they were doing with the plane. I guess it's a plane ship. It kind of looked like a plane, but it wasn't. It was
Speaking of Mulder and technology, he
Yeah.
needs a better smartphone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's this new app. I can't tell if it's working.
It's this new camera app. I don't know if it's working.
Flash, 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 flash.
Older people I know first get a smartphone. Like, how does this work? That one viral video of the older couple. They think they're taking a picture and it's actually video. Dear click. I think Mulder's been living in the woods for too long.
Yeah.
Needs to get out a little bit more. Did you guys recognize the one scientist with the ship when they were showing? It took me a second to realize who that was. It's Miko's dad from Heroes Reborn.
That's what I was like, that face looks familiar.
I was like, he looks so familiar. I was like, why does he look so familiar? Like, oh wait, you were just on TV a couple weeks ago. I just saw you in something else. Oh, people keep popping up. Like, I know you. Like Joel McHale, this guy. No. Oh, goodness. What else? Do you think Sveta is actually dead? Do you think they actually succeeded in blowing her up?
I'm kind of on the fence about that. I mean, it was a pretty decent explosion, but I'm thinking that she's probably still alive. Just, I don't know. They've pulled those surprises before where you thought a character was dead, and
like I said, death really doesn't stick on the X-Files.
No. Some of the TV shows, some of the fandoms, X-Files, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Master-like qualities.
Yeah.
I'm just going to step over here and presto changeo, I'm safe.
Yeah. Well, you know, the X-Files, it's kind of fits into the comic book universe. So, yeah. It's not like Star Trek, you know, if you're a red shirt, you're dead.
Right.
So, how many is it 10 episodes is the series? Is this?
It's 6.
6, so that's even less than I
We're
thought.
at the halfway point.
Okay.
Hard
It's
to
really
believe.
short. I thought it was 10.
Yeah, I want it to be 10.
Oh. And it's not going to break at all, right? It's just going to be continuous till it...
Yeah, continuous Mondays till they're done.
Till
supposedly they're going to be showing something during the halftime at during the Super Bowl. I'm not sure, but they even said they were going to post whatever they were going to show on Facebook too.
Oh, okay.
So, who knows what that's going to be?
I don't know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Yep.
As we're recording, the Super Bowl is tomorrow.
Yes.
So. Alrighty then. Oh. Man, 6 episodes. That's not a lot.
I know. That's even somewhat shorter than normal BBC British television.
Well,
with the exception of the one Torchwood, Children of Earth, but
yeah. But you know, you figure hour-long episodes. You get 45 minutes once you take out commercials.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, 2, 4, that's 3. Yeah. It's not a little under 6 hours worth of content.
Mm-hmm.
So 45 hours. So slightly longer than a season of Sherlock, as far as minutes on air.
So concerned, yeah.
Oh my, that is short. Oh. Alrighty then. Well, now that I'm caught up, though, now I have something to watch on Monday nights for the next 3 weeks.
Yep.
Oh, yay! Alrighty then. I guess if I'm keeping that short, if they think they, you know, that I guess it does make sense because one, it means that, you know, the stars don't have to commit to a long amount of time. Although I don't know what Jillian is doing these days as far as acting, if she's on anything. I don't know if David's
she was on Penny Dreadful, I think, for a little bit, and then David Duchovny was on Aquarius on NBC, but I'm not sure if that's still going.
I don't know. I know he had a show on like Showtime or HBO or something.
It was on Showtime, and I think that ended a couple of years back.
Okay, so, but yeah, that keeps them from having to commit to a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if they feel like the shortened season still works as far as telling the stories they want to tell and weaving in more into the mythology and all that they can keep it open for more down the line, knowing that they can do 6 episodes and it still works. No, because I think that was one of the things that I was complaining about when we were talking Heroes Reborn. Is they tried to cram too much into a short season, and I've somewhat compared it to the X-Files, but I don't think that's a fair comparison, even though they share an actor apparently,
Mm-hmm.
or at least they did. think he got blown up thanks to the government. But yeah, I can kind of understand it. Doesn't mean I like it, but I can kind of understand it. So, and it gives us something to it's a nice little tide over to some of our other stuff comes back. Not that I really have things to watch on Monday night, so it's not really filling the slot of anything, but it gives me something to watch because right now I only watch TV like one day a week when Agent Carter is on. There's nothing else on. So at least not till I get caught up on things or start some things, I should say. I have Arrow and Flash on my. It's high on the to watch list. I'm just not there yet.
Let us know when you get there.
I will. Especially considering how much I'm hearing about Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. I've heard it's really good. So, and I've heard it's really good, especially if you're a Doctor Who fan. Not just because Arthur Darvill is in it, but
yeah,
it's Doctor Who-esque. So, yeah. I'll get there. I promise. I'll get there. Alrighty then. Nope. Anything else? We haven't talked a whole lot. I guess with only 3 episodes,
Right.
It's like unless we really wanted to get into like the background of the X-Files, which I don't think is necessary at this point because one, that's a lot of TV with 9 seasons, 2 movies,
and a spin-off, and 2 spin-offs,
and 2 spin-offs. That's a lot to get into, even for us.
Yeah, I mean, if the last 3 episodes have something that we might need to pull stuff, then we will. But I don't think it's worth trying to.
Yeah, just because we don't know at this point. There's no point in, even talking about the mythology. Considering what they've done with it is kind of pointless now. in a
They've kind of tweaked it a little bit here and there.
It's like you just took 9 years of mythology and just went, not really. Like we told you the truth, but not really.
Yeah, the Obi-Wan Kenobi certain point of view.
Yes. Like in a way, Darth Vader did kill your father, but not really.
Yeah. I'm betting Mulder really wished he would have killed Cigarette Smoking Man when he had the chance.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, they don't know that he's alive.
He's alive, yeah.
We know he's alive.
Yeah.
Because we need to know that, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's gotten older, but he hasn't changed any.
Nope. Still his smug, sarcastic self.
I want to punch him in the face.
Oh,
I always have. I've never liked him. I've never liked the cigarette smoking man.
Never liked Krychek, too, when he showed up.
And Skinner can be hit and miss on whether I like him or not.
Yeah.
Depends on whose side he's playing.
Yeah.
Although it seems like right now that he's fully on Fox and Dana's side.
Yeah.
And where that change of heart came from, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of went back and forth earlier in the series too, because I mean, he came close to being shot. He survived a gunshot wound that was meant to take him out, and I'm thinking it was by the consortium because they didn't like the fact that he reopened the X-Files. So
maybe he's had a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah, well, I can still remember one of the earlier seasons with Cigarette Smoking Man coming in and trying to threaten threaten Skinner, and he's just like, yeah, no, don't think so. I've got X, Y, and Z to back me up. And then he places the no smoking sign right in the dead center of his desk to like,
Like, FYI,
yep,
please read and obey the sign.
exactly.
That's funny. I think I remember saying that. I don't know if I actually saw the episode or if I just saw that in like a clip or something somewhere.
But it was a nice little moment.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting. It's just it's one of those things. That's the thing with the X-Files is that it's always, I think they've always kind of kept you on your toes, as far as where they were going to go with the quote unquote truth in the X-Files universe. Because I mean, the whole premise of it starting out was, that Mulder was kind of the laughing stock of the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
In his hole.
Yep.
And
his classic line to Scully: "Who would you tip off to get stuck with this detail?"
Yeah. But now it's kind of a big deal. The X-Files has been reopened, and
the basement's the place to be.
The basement is the place to be. The poster is back up on the wall.
Yep.
It's got some holes in it.
Yeah, even though Scully had to get him, that's my poster.
I love that he comes back, and the office has been cleaned out, and Fox is all like, "Where's all my files?" And Skinner's like, "I don't know."
But the pencils are still hanging.
The pencils are still in the ceiling.
It's entirely cleaned up, but the pencils are still up there.
Yeah.
For 15 years.
Yeah.
Those are some sturdy number twos.
I know.
Exactly. You think a few of them would have fallen down over the course of a decade.
You would think. Yeah, just gravity's got to take over eventually.
But there's still a bunch of pencils stuck in the ceiling. Why? I mean, and you notice them. It's like you can hardly help but notice the pencils still stuck in the ceiling after all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a bunch of number 2 stalactites just coming down out of the ceiling. Stalactites, stalagmites. Wait, which are the ones that come from the top?
Stalactites.
Okay, I got it right then. Yay!
The way I remember that is stalactites that has got the 2 T's, whereas stalagmites only has 1. Yep.
And that's your science lesson for today.
Yes. Stalactites are from the top, stalagmites are from the bottom.
Good to know. Oh, we're reaching here. We're trying not to anger the Skype gods.
No, we're not.
Oh. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to, just like everything else, every time we go to talk about something at the beginning of a season, it's like, oh, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Because that's the way it works with these shows.
Yep. That's the way it works.
When you watch the type of program that we watch, there's a lot of wait and see.
Exactly.
A lot of wait and see.
A lot of wait and see, and oh my gosh, did that just actually happen?
That too. Well, I look forward to Monday, though, now that I'm caught up. Then I look forward to just seeing the rest of the cast of characters, and I always liked the Lone Gunmen.
Yep.
I kind of wish I watched their spinoff. I didn't necessarily watch the X-Files religiously, but when they had their spinoff, I watched that as religiously as I could at the time, considering I was, I think, in high school. So
You gotta love Langley, Frohickey, and Byers.
Yeah. And I was a bit sad that the spinoff didn't stick. But
Yeah.
it,
I was really rooting for it.
yeah. So I'll be interested to see how they bring them back in and how they fit into everything. So
and what they're doing these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aren't you boys supposed to be dead?
Yeah, I would say if they're not dead, what are they up to these days? If they're dead, hey, how's Death doing? How's Death going? If we can have a lizard man that can turn into a human, we can have the ghosts of the Lone Gunmen. Why not?
Yep.
It's the X-Files. Pretty much anything goes. As far as science. Just science, throw it out the window. Take it and throw it into the supernova right with the TARDIS flying manual. I will say that's one thing that has kind of irked me a little bit. One minor peeve with this particular season, that you would think after all of these years, even after it being so long since the last season, and Mulder and Scully went off in their separate ways and doing their things separately, but you really would think after all these years and all the things that they've seen and all the things they would have experienced, that Scully would not be such a skeptic when Mulder comes to her.
Yep, she kind of leaned that way when Doggett came into the picture, but then after that, back to...
Like, really? After 9 seasons?
After what you've been through.
How can you not believe Mulder when he comes to you and says, there's this woman who's been abducted by aliens and claims she has alien DNA? Or there's this ship and it's got...
Which in episode 3, when he had that whole conversation with himself about how scientifically accurate or the scientific plausibility of the lizard man.
Yes. The one-sided conversation where he says everything for her.
And then he says what she would say.
Yeah.
And then he responds to that. And then
he knew exactly how the conversation was going to play out.
Whole conversation by himself, and Scully's just sat there looking at him like,
And all she has to say at the end was, that's the Mulder I remember. That's the Mulder I want to see.
I loved that he had that conversation by himself.
Yeah. Well, and then the part 2 when he's like, Mulder, there is no such list as that shoots blood out of her eyes. I'm like, oh, yes, there is. I can remember learning about that in the science class.
Oh, and the internet is bad for you,
Mulder. Mulder.
Yeah.
She may be onto something there.
Yeah.
I will give Dana Scully that. The internet's probably a bad place for Mulder.
Probably bad for Mulder. I mean, all
camera apps.
Fears about these conspiracy theories will be confirmed somewhere on the internet.
I will say that she does seem to be taking things a bit more lighthearted. But I know that somebody's got to play the skeptic, and because it's the Mulder and Scully show, and we know that Mulder is the one he wants to believe. He even said that to the lizard man. Like, I want to believe.
I want to believe.
Yeah, that someone, and Scully makes sense to play the skeptic to his believer, but oh, I just want to be like, you can't deny it after all these years. Stop being so turn. It's like asking her to turn off the scientific doctor part of her brain. I know. That's who she's hardwired to be. That's what she spent her entire life learning and doing, is being a scientist, but still, it's like, just believe him when he tells you that the guy squirted blood out of his eyes. Because there are lizards that do that. That's my one little complaint with everything. So, but as far as complaints go, I think that's minor.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Mitch, what do you think? You're the new one here.
Yes, tell us what you think.
Enjoying it so far. I do like how Mulder was very careful to not to say that the hooker used to be a man, because she didn't. When he said she was transgender.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was still problematic from a trans perspective, but because Mulder was so careful not to misgender her, that it's not as bad as it could have been.
That's cool.
Yeah, looking forward to. I've enjoyed it so far. Looking forward to the rest of the season.
Are you finding that this I guess this type of television show is your cup of tea? Because I mean, there's science fiction, and then there's like the X-Files. Like, this is not Doctor Who.
I'm really liking the X-Files.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this isn't Star Trek. This isn't Doctor Who. This is,
This is the X-Files.
This is the X-Files. They may both be science fiction, but they're not in the same. You can't compare.
No.
At all.
Not the same. I don't know, level.
I don't know what the proper way to to try and classify it is. I mean, it's.
Could we say it's more of a? But then again, with sometimes you got to there's the easier science fiction that's easier to follow, and then there's the thinking person science fiction. But I don't know if that's even fair to,
yeah,
categorize it that way.
Yeah, I don't think there is, because I mean, you've got elements that you see in a lot of science fiction. You've got, an overarching storyline and mythology, I guess, if you want to compare, like
the hero's quest,
mm-hmm.
kind of too.
Yeah, and you got your monster of the week,
mm-hmm.
Which they did they've done with Doctor Who. You've got
mm-hmm.
your monster of the week, but then you've got your overarching storyline, and you've got your overall mythology. But it's. I don't know. It's maybe because the X-Files is more based in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what it is, because you have things like the government and the FBI and seemingly normal everyday things, but it has an otherworldly twist to it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what makes it different, because it's so grounded in real life, but it's life to like the extreme, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So. And some of it's fun,
mm-hmm.
and some of it's funny, as we've mentioned with the were monster, or lizard man, and some of it
just
is
that chase scene.
Yeah.
That was a hoot.
Yeah. But then, some of it is disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that couple of the scenes in the second episode, I mean, yeah, just like, ooh, that's still going on.
Yeah. Yeah, with things like, the experimentation on children, that brings to mind things like, things in real life, like GMOs and that sort of thing. It's like, and you go back to the other episode, like, Home, which is, we won't get into because I really don't want to be thinking about that, but
yeah.
Unfortunately, that was based on like a news article or something that somebody read that it was somewhat based in reality.
Mm-hmm.
But then they take it and put it on steroids and give it the X-Files twist to it. So I think that's what it is. At least in my mind, is it's based in reality, but then it's like stretches the imagination of what reality can be, but it's touches just a bit too close to home as far as everyday life. It's like, this could be reality if, but it's not, thank goodness. It's just on TV. Because if it was real, again, I would go punch cigarette smoking man in the face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think there'd be a whole committee.
Take a number.
Get number. Get in line.
Get in line. Yeah. Wind up. Take a pitch.
Yeah, instead of a dunk tank.
Yeah. We're throwing pies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
No, I think I touched on everything I wanted to.
No.
Yeah.
And after that kerfuffle at the beginning, Skype decided to play along.
Yes, thank you.
Yay. Alrighty then. Well, if we don't have anything else, I guess if anyone else wants to chime in, you can reach us at, I guess the easiest would be at our website, our blog, the 5ish Fangirls podcast.blogspot.com. Man, that's a mouthful. One of these days, we're going to get a legit website, and the URL is going to be a lot shorter. But from there, you can find all of our contact info. So, email, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, the book club, and also a link to our Patreon. Speaking of getting a real website one of these days, if you would like to help contribute to us eventually getting a real website with a real URL, if you would like, we do have a Patreon account. If you've got a couple dollars you could throw away, great. If not, we take warm fuzzies as well. They won't pay for a website, but we'll take warm fuzzies as well. Yeah. We get warm fuzzies anytime someone likes something on our Facebook page or mentions us on Follow Friday on Twitter or likes us on Instagram. It's all good. We appreciate everyone listening and downloading the podcast every week and coming along with us on this madness. It's putting out a weekly podcast.
It's a fun madness.
Yeah. Of all the crazy trains I could have joined, this is my favorite.
Yeah.
Happy belated Friendship Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to my co-hosts, who are my friends, all of our listeners who are our friends, whether we've met you or not, whether we just know you over the social medias. As Lou Mangello would say, you are our friend. Friends. We are friends whether we've met or not. We like to take that approach. We appreciate everything, and I would say if you want to join in for next week's topic, go ahead, but I don't know what we're talking about next week, so...
No.
We may be on sabbatical next week. We don't know yet. We'll see. Unfortunately, I shall be traveling. Not soon. And so the podcast may have to go on a hiatus while I'm traveling. We shall see. A lot of it just depends on how the travel schedule fleshes out. I'll tell you guys all about that maybe when I get back. I still have to tell you guys about my trip to Disneyland. Maybe when Chrissy comes back, we'll just talk about Disneyland in general.
That sounds like a plan.
And then everybody will be like, okay, I want to go to Disneyland now. And in that case, if anyone wants to sponsor a 5-ish Fangirls road trip to Disneyland, again, our Patreon is listed on our blog.
This summer would be real nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little trip down to Disneyland with my friends.
Yeah. That would be real nice.
That would be lovely.
You know, any of those people that managed to hit the jackpot on that huge jackpot that was the Powerball like a month ago? If you come across this.
That was, what,
$1.5 billion? Yeah.
Yeah.
If any of you may be listening, I'm just saying. Mark Zuckerberg, if you happen to be listening. I doubt it. Bill Gates? I don't know. Someone! No. Okay, we're getting slap happy now. It's not even that late.
No, it's not.
Is there a full moon or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's for a couple of weeks. Don't ask me how I know these things. It just happened.
All right. Well, before we get any more slap happy, people are, if you're still listening at this point, God bless you.
Yes, thank you.
It's not like this every week. It's like this a lot of the weeks, but it's not like this every week. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I think I need to stop talking now. So, yeah. Let's sign off before I stick my foot in my mouth or something. I don't know.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
Mitch saying goodnight from Eastern Ontario.
Oh, this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana, and just like Scully's bat crap crazy.
Is that the scientific?
Been listening to the 5-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.